Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. This is the 8th class of Geometrical Optics. In today's class, we will be solving problems related to refraction from plane surface. So let's start with the class. So in this question, it is given that there is a vertical microscope which is focused at a point at the bottom of an empty tank. So this is an empty tank and a microscope is focused at the bottom of an empty tank, right? The refractive index of water is given as 4 by 3. So that water is poured in the tank. The height of the water column is 4 centimeter. So this is 4 centimeter. Okay. So this is given as 4 centimeter and the refractive index of water is given as 4 by 3. Another lighter liquid which does not mix with water and has a refractive index of 3 by 2 is then poured over the water. So one lighter liquid is also poured over the water and this refractive index is given as 3 by 2 and this height is given as 2 centimeter. Then what is the vertical distance through which the microscope must be moved so as to bring the object in focus again? So basically now the microscope is the observer and it will not see the object here, it will see the object at a shifted position. You know that di from the final interface is d1 by mu1 plus d2 by mu2. We have discussed this, right? So here d1 is 4 divided by 4 by 3 plus d2 is 2 divided by 3 by 2. Okay, so from this we will get this is equal to 3 plus this is equal to how much? 4 by 3. Okay, so from this we will get 3 into 3, 9 plus 4, 13 by 3. So this is the position of the image here. Okay, now this much is the shift. So the microscope should be shifted by this much distance only. So what is the object height? Actual height is 6 centimeter, but the apparent height is 13 by 3 centimeter, right? So what I will write is shift is equal to 13 minus 13 sorry 6 minus 13 by 3 and that will be equal to 18 minus 13, that is 5 by 3, and that is equal to 1.67 centimeter, right? So this is the shift in the position of the microscope so that the microscope can see the object again, right? Okay, now this is a very important question here. Suppose you have a slab and there is an object here, this side is air, this side is also air, and on this side there is a concave mirror whose radius of curvature is given as 20 centimeter, that is the focus is 10 centimeter, right? Okay, the thickness of the slab is given as 3 centimeter and the refractive index of the slab is given as 3 by 2 centimeter. This total distance is given as 21 centimeter. We need to find the final position of the image. Okay, so what will you do here is, see, first thing, you know that the shift from the this slab is independent of the position of the slab or the object or the mirror, right? So shift first we will calculate. Shift is equal to 3 centimeter t into 1 minus 1 by mu relative. Mu relative is 3 by 2 because this side the refractive index is 1. So this will come out to be 1 centimeter. So the shift is 1 centimeter and the shift is positive. And if shift is positive, it is in the direction of incident ray, right? So shift is in the direction of incident ray. Shift is in the direction of incident ray. We have discussed this in the last class, the important points about shift. Okay, shift is in the direction of incident ray, right? So now 1 centimeter shift is there, so that means this is the object, this will be its image, shifted by a distance 1 centimeter along the incident ray. Incident ray is moving towards left, right? Now this image is I1 and it acts as object for the concave mirror. So I'll write I1 acts as object for the concave mirror. I1 acts as object for the concave mirror. Okay, so if I1 acts as object for the concave mirror, so that means I1 is an object for the concave mirror, so the object distance for the mirror is, so I'll write for the mirror u is equal to, see again here, this I1 is acting as an object for the concave mirror. Now this distance is 21 centimeter, this is 1 centimeter, so this distance will be how much? This distance will be 20 centimeters. So for the mirror, u is minus 20 because it is in front, right? So I'll write u is equal to minus 20. The radius of curvature is given as 20 centimeter. That means the focus is minus 10 because it is a concave mirror. So from this you will get v is equal to uf by u minus f, and that is equal to minus 20 into minus 10 divided by minus 20 plus 10, and that will come out to be 20 into 10 divided by minus 10, and that is equal to minus 20. So that means u is equal to minus 20, v is also equal to minus 20. That means the image is formed here. So this is I1 and this is also equal to I2, right? Now light after reflecting from here is again striking this slab. So if it is again striking this slab, that means what? That means there will be one more shift. Okay, so now this I2 will again act as object. I2 will again act as object for slab. So you know that for the slab the shift is always same, right? Shift is independent of the position of the object or the slab. Shift for a given thickness of slab will always be same, t into 1 minus 1 by mu, right? So the shift will again be 1 centimeter, but this time the incident ray on the slab is towards right, so the shift will be towards right. That means it will be shifted by 1 centimeter. That means the image will be formed on the object itself. Why? Because I2 was here and final image will be 1 centimeter shifted from here towards right. Why? Because the incident ray now on the slab is towards right. So 1 centimeter shift towards right means what? Means again the image is formed on the object itself, right? So you will say that, so the image is formed on the object itself. So therefore you will say that image is formed on the object itself. Image is formed on the object itself. Okay, let us do one more problem in this. Let us do one more problem, you will understand more. See, suppose you have a concave mirror whose focus is 20 centimeter and there is a object at a distance of 30 centimeters. So suppose this is the object. Suppose this is the object which is at a distance of 30 centimeter. Okay, so this is 30 centimeter and we need to find the final image if a slab is inserted here. So suppose I have inserted a slab here and it is given that the thickness of the slab is 3 centimeter and the refractive index is 3 by 2. Okay, so again the same thing that you will do is first you will calculate the shift due to the slab. So the shift due to the slab will be 3 multiplied by 1 minus 1 by mu. Mu is 3 by 2, that is 1 minus 2 by 3, that is 1 minus 2 by 3 is 1 by 3, 3 into 1 by 3 is 1 centimeter. So the shift is 1 centimeter. So to make the question easy, let me make this 31 centimeter. So this was 31 centimeter. So now shift is positive, that means it will be in the direction of incident ray, right? So incident ray is moving like this, so the shift will be 1 centimeter. So the first image will be here. The first image will be here, shifted by 1 centimeter, and this is 30 centimeter, right? Okay, then what I will say, I1 is acting as object for is acting as object for the concave mirror. Object for concave mirror. That means the slab is laterally displacing the rays so that it seems that the ray of light to the mirror is coming from I1 and not from O. Okay, so I1 is acting as the object for the concave mirror. Now for the mirror U becomes then minus 30. For the mirror U becomes minus 30. F is given to be minus 20. When you solve this, you will get V is equal to minus 60. So the final position of the image is minus 60. So this is minus 60. This is the position of the image, I2, right? But when the ray of light is again reflected back, it is again striking this slab, right? If it is again striking the slab, that means what? If it is again striking the slab, there will be one more shift, right? So now this image I2 acts as object for slab. I2 acts as object for slab, and it will be shifted again by 1 centimeter, because shift is independent of the position of object or observer or the slab. Okay, so shift is equal to 1 centimeter. Therefore, final image is formed at what? Either 59 or 61. But what will be the answer? See, the rays now are moving towards left and shift is positive. Shift is always in the direction of incident ray. So, because incident ray is towards left, shift is towards left. If shift is towards left, the answer will be what? Answer will be 61 centimeter, right? So, I'll write, therefore, for the I2 acts as object and shift is 1 centimeter. Therefore, answer will be 61 centimeter. So the final image will be formed at a distance of 61 centimeter from the pole of the concave mirror. This is the final image at a distance of 61 centimeter from the pole of the concave mirror. So this is how they can ask you the question. Every time you have to remember, first shift from the slab, then that shifted position is the object for the concave mirror, then find the image from the concave mirror, that image is again a object for the slab, right? So 3 images will be formed and I3 is the final image that you will be observing. Okay, same question here, just the thing is I've used a convex mirror this time, right? So what will you get? See, again shift is how much? Because I've taken the same data, so the shift will be 1 centimeter, right? So the shift is 1 centimeter, so the first image is here and this becomes equal to 30 centimeter. Okay, now this is a convex mirror, remember. So for convex mirror, what I will write, U is equal to minus 30, but this time F is plus 20. So when I solve this, I will get V is equal to minus 30 into 20 divided by minus 30 minus 20. So that will be equal to 30 into 20 divided by 50. Okay, so from this you will get V is equal to 12 centimeter, plus 12. Remember, plus 12. So the image formed is plus 12. That means what? The image formed is plus 12. That means the image is here. So this is the image I2, which is at a distance of plus 12 centimeter, right? Okay, but I2 is again an object for the slab. Why? Because ray of light after reflection from this will again strike the slab. Okay, so I will write here I2 acts as object for slab, right? So if I2 acts as object for slab, then there is again a shift of 1 centimeter, because shift is not dependent on the position of the object or the observer or the slab. Shift is always equal to T into 1 minus 1 by mu, right? So shift is 1 centimeter. Now because the ray is moving towards the left, so the shift will be towards the left. So that means this will be the final image I3. So the final image I3 will be at a distance of 11 centimeter from the convex mirror, right? So I3 will be at a distance of 11 centimeter from the convex mirror. Okay, now the same question I can ask you like this also. See this question, suppose you have a slab. Okay, for simplicity purpose I am taking the same data again. Mu is equal to 3 by 2 and thickness is 3 centimeter, and this time you have a plane mirror here, plane mirror. So this is a plane mirror here, and this is the object, and this distance is given to you as suppose 80 centimeter, then find final image. Find final image. So again, the same thing that you have to do here is first find the shift. Okay, whenever you see a glass slab, you should find the shift. So shift is again 1 centimeter. So if shift is 1 centimeter, that means what? That means this image acts as object for the mirror. So I'll write again, I1 acts as object for plane mirror, right? So I1 acts as object for plane mirror. So from this you will get you know that object distance is equal to image distance in a plane mirror. So this distance is 79 centimeter. So the image I2 will be formed at a distance of 79 centimeter, right? So if the image is formed at a distance of 79 centimeter, but now this I2 acts as object for the slab. The image I2 acts as object for the slab. But you know that for the slab, the shift will be 1 centimeter again. It is independent of the position of object or the observer or the slab. So shift is again 1 centimeter, and shift is this time towards left. Why? Because the incident light is towards left on the slab. On the slab, after reflection from this, the slab is getting light from the left side, right? Means from the right side, which is moving towards the left, right? So the light is moving towards the left. That means incident rays towards the left. So shift will also be towards the left. So that means the shift will be in this direction towards the left, and the final answer will be 78 centimeter behind the plane mirror. So you'll write the answer as I3 is 78 centimeter behind the plane mirror. Okay. Then the next thing that we can do here is, see, like this also they can ask you the question. Suppose this is f is equal to 20 and see, this is the object and they are asking you first, this is the slab 3 centimeter 1.5 mu, so that the data remains same. Yeah, so they can ask you where should the object be placed, where should the object be placed so that image is formed on the object itself. So you know that when the object is at a distance 2f, image is also at a distance 2f, right? So here for the concave mirror, the image or the object should be at the distance of 40 centimeter. So for that, this object should be at a distance of 41 centimeter, right? So let the object is at 41 centimeter. Listen carefully. Let object is at 41 centimeter. Okay. So first is shift. So you know that the same data I am taking. So shift will be 1 centimeter. So if shift is 1 centimeter, that means I1, that is I1 acts as object for concave mirror. And because the object is at a distance 2f, that is 40 centimeter, so the image will be at the distance 2f only, because when object is at 2f, image is at 2f. So this position is I2 also, right? When object is at 2f, the image is also at 2f. So the image I2 is here. Now again, this I2 is object for the slab. I2 is object for slab. So if I2 is object for slab, again you know this time the light is moving towards the left. So shift is again 1 centimeter towards left. So if shift is 1 centimeter towards the left, that means see, the image is formed on object itself, right? So the image is formed on object itself if the object is placed at a distance of 41 centimeter from the concave mirror. Okay, right. Now let us look at this question. Here you have a mirror here, a concave mirror, and there is an object here which is at a distance of 24 centimeter from the interface. Mu is given as 4/3 and the focus of the concave mirror is 20 centimeter. We need to find the final image. So what you will do is, Suppose you are observing from this end. If you are observing from this side, then what will you do? First, there will be an image from this interface. Then there will be an image from this. But light after reflection will again strike this interface. So then again there will be one image. So the third image will be your answer, right? But if you are looking from here, in that case the second image will be your answer, because in that case light will enter your eye before the light strikes this. Okay, so it will depend on the observer which answer they are asking. I am assuming here that the observer is inside this water. Okay, so if the observer is inside water, in that case what you have to do is you have to write the third image, right? Okay, so what we will do here is, first, for the interface, you know that di by do is equal to mu2 by mu1. Di by do is equal to mu2 by mu1. Now do is 24. All distances are measured from the interface. You have to remember, all distances are measured from the interface. Mu2 is the final refracted light, it means the refracted medium. So mu2 is 1. Okay, mu1 is 4 by 3. So I'll write 1 divided by 4 by 3. So that becomes 3 by 4. So from this I will get the value of di as 3 by 4 into 24. So that will come out to be 18 centimeter. So that means the image is formed upwards at a distance 18 centimeter. Okay. Now if the image is at a distance of 18 centimeter, this image I1 is acting as the object. So I will write here I1 is acting as object for concave mirror. I1 acts as object for concave mirror. Okay, so this object, this I1 is at a distance of 12 plus 18, that is 30 centimeter. So for the concave mirror I will write u is equal to minus 30 centimeter. Why minus? Because the object is in front. Then the focus is 20 centimeter. I will write f is equal to minus 20 because it is a concave mirror. From this, when you solve this, you will get v is equal to minus 60 centimeter. So the image is formed at a distance of minus 60 centimeter from the concave mirror, right? So that means the image will be somewhere here. This is I2, okay? And this distance is 60 centimeter. So I'll write this distance as 60 centimeter. So let us say this distance will be 60 centimeter. Okay, I'll write here 60 centimeter. Okay, but this image is again an object for this interface. So I2 is again an object for the interface. So I2 is again an object. I2 is again an object for the interface. Okay, so that means, see, I2 is again an object for interface, but now you have to measure the distance from the interface. So if this distance is 60, this is 12, so this distance is how much? This distance is 48 centimeter. 60 minus 12 is 48. So this distance is how much? This distance is 48 centimeter. Okay, so I'll write again di by do is equal to mu2 by mu1. Di by do is equal to mu2 by mu1. That means di by do is how much? 48 centimeter is equal to mu2 by mu1. You have to be careful now. See, this time the light is moving from, after reflection, light is moving from here to here. That means the incident side is this and the refracted side is this. So you will write, but you will say that the object is here. So this should be the incident side. No, object this time is virtual. You have to see the incident side. Light is after reflection from the mirror. Light is striking this surface from here to here. So this is the incident side. So that means now this is mu1, this is mu1 and this is mu2. That means this time mu2 is 4 by 3 and mu1 is 1. Okay, so I will write mu2 by mu1 as 4 by 3 divided by 1. So from this I will get di is equal to 4 by 3 into 48. So this will come out to be 4, 1, 1, 8, 16. So you will get the image as 16 into 4 is 64 centimeter from the interface. 64 centimeter from the interface. Okay, so I'll write 64 centimeter. So this will be the final position of the image I3. Okay, and this will be at a distance of 68 centimeter, 64 centimeter, sorry, this is I3. right? So first step, again I will tell you, first you have to find the image from the interface. That image will act as object for the concave mirror, and the image from the concave mirror will again act as object for the interface, right? You have to find out the distance from the interface or from the concave mirror, depending on from whose, means from which interface you are trying to find the image. So you have to use the geometry, right? Okay, one more question, same like this. See, again this same question, but they are asking you find the f. This time they have not given you the focus, and they are saying you what should be the value of f such that the image is formed on the object itself. So when they are saying you the image is formed on the object itself, they are referring to the final image. Okay, so what I will do again, see, this is again mu is 4 by 3, same, mu is 1. Okay, so again I will write for the interface, because light will first strike the interface. You have to see where the light will strike first. So for the interface, di by do is equal to mu2 by mu1. So di is equal to, I'll write di is equal to mu2 is how much? So light is moving from here to here. So this is mu2, this is mu1. So I will write mu2 is 1 divided by 4 by 3 into do is 24 centimeter. So from this I will get di is 18 centimeter. So the first image is formed at a distance of 18 centimeter, right? So the first image is formed at a distance of 18 centimeter. Okay, now this is I1. Now this image acts as object for the concave mirror, right? So I'll write I1 acts as object for concave mirror. Now listen carefully. Suppose this I1 gives you an image I2. This I1 gives you an image I2 from the concave mirror. Gives you an image I2 from the concave mirror. From the concave mirror. Okay. And suppose this is the position. I don't know which position I will get. So I am just imagining somewhere around here. Okay. Suppose here. I don't know which position I will get because the focus is not given. Okay. So what I will write is, see, suppose the image distance that I get from the interface, the distance is suppose x. From the interface, the distance is suppose x. Okay, but final image I3, it is given in the question that the final image I3 is at the object itself. That means I3 is at 24 centimeter. Okay, so I2 is object for the interface and I3 is its image, right? So what I will write, listen carefully. Now let I2 is at a distance, let I2 is at a distance x from the interface. Let I2 is at a distance x from the interface. Okay, and I3 is, first I will write, and I2 is object for the interface. I2 is object for the interface. And I3 is its image. But according to question, I3 is at object itself. That means I3 is at a distance 24 centimeter from the interface. That is, I3 is at a distance 24 centimeter from the interface. Right? So I will write, therefore di by do is equal to mu2 by mu1. So from this I will get di. Final image I know already. I3 I know already. So I will write di is 24. Do, we don't know do. Mu2, this time light is coming from here to here. So mu2 is 4 by 3 and mu1 is 1. So I will write here 4 by 3 divided by 1. So from this I will get value of do. What I will get, do is equal to 3 by 4 into 24, and again you will see that I get 18. So that means that the image is, do is what? The I2. Do is I2. So I2 is at a distance 18 centimeter from the interface. That means x is equal to 18. Okay. Now if x is equal to 18, so that means I1 is equal to I2. That means the position of I1 is same as I2. and this is possible only if the object is at 2f. So that means this total distance has to be equal to 2f, because I1 was at 18, I2 is also at 18 centimeter from the interface. This is possible only if this object, because I1 was object for the concave mirror, right? So I1 and its image is at the same position, that means this distance is definitely 2f. So therefore we can see that 2f is equal to 12 plus 18, that is 30. So therefore object for concave mirror is at the same position as image from concave mirror. This is possible only if object distance is 2f. This is possible only if object distance is 2f. So that means 2f is equal to 18 plus 12, because from the interface the distance is 18 and this distance was 12, so 18 plus 12 is 30, right? So I will write this is equal to 30. So from this you will get the value of f as 15 centimeter, right? So the answer will be 15 centimeter. So this is a similar type of question which is homework for all of you. The same question, mu 4 by 3, the distance only has changed and remaining question is same. We need to find f such that image is formed on the object itself. Okay. So this type of question came in JEE Advanced 2005, or you can say IIT 2005. Okay. Now in this question they are asking you a tank. There is a tank which contains 3 layers of immiscible liquid. The first layer is of water, refractive index is given, thickness is also given. The second layer is of an oil whose refractive index is given, thickness is also given. Third layer is of glycerine, refractive index is given, thickness is also given. Okay. Find the apparent depth of the bottom of the container. So that means we need to find the depth, the apparent depth, right? So you know that the apparent depth means the image of this object. So you treat the base as the object, and you know that di will be equal to, so I am writing that formula from the final interface, right? So the formula of di is from the final interface. So it will be equal to d1 by mu1, that is 8 by 4 by 3 plus 9 by 3 by 2 plus 4 by 2. That's it. So this will come out to be 4 to 6 plus 9 3 9 to 6 plus 2. So the answer will be 12 plus 2 40, right? So they can also ask you the equivalent refractive index. Mu equivalent will be equal to, mu equivalent of the system will be equal to how much? Mu equivalent will be equal to the actual distance, that means the actual depth. Actual depth will be how much? See, 9 plus 4 is how much? 13. 13 plus 8 is how much? 21. So mu equivalent will be 21 by 14, that is 7.273. So the mu equivalent will be 1.5. Okay. Okay. Now this is a very important point. Everybody should listen to it very carefully. There in the figure there are 3 objects O1, O2 and O3 located at a vertical line in a liquid of refractive index mu, and you are watching it from air. So these objects are observed from air along this vertical line. The distance between the images of O1 and O2 is h2 by mu, and the distance between the images of O1 and O3 is equal to h2 plus h3 by mu, right? So we have to prove this. Listen very carefully. Basically what they want to say is, suppose there are 2 points on a vertical line and the actual separation between them is h. The actual separation between them is h. Then when you look from the top, the actual separation between them will be h by mu. If you look it from the means from air, otherwise it will be h by mu relative. So we have to prove this. So I'll prove it, and then after proving this you have to remember this result. Listen carefully. So suppose this distance is T1 and this whole distance is T2. Then you know that T2 minus T1 is the actual separation between them, and that is H. Right? Okay. Now you know that this is the object for the interface. So di is equal to mu2 by mu1 into do. You know that formula. So di will be equal to mu2 by mu1. Now light is moving from here to here. So mu1 is 1. Sorry, mu1 is mu2 is 1, because light is moving from here to here. So this is incident side. Mu1 is mu2 is 1. So I will write mu2 is 1, mu1 is mu divided by do is T1. Similarly, for this object di will be how much? Similarly, it will be T2 by mu. So that means the image formed will be at this point and at this point. Sorry, at this point. So this distance is T1 by mu, and this distance is this one, T2 by mu. Okay, so that means I will not write it here. I will, that it does not become confusing. See, I am just writing this is the image I1 and this is the image I2. Okay, now the distance between the two images will be how much? Because you will see only the image, not the object, right? So the distance between the image will be equal to, so this is the I2, this is the I1, T2 minus T1 by mu, but T2 minus T1 is H by mu. So you have proved it. That's it. So you have to remember this result. This is a very simple result. Actual distance between any 2 points in a vertical line is H. Then the distance that you will see when you are looking from the top between any 2 points is H by mu. Okay, so the distance between any 2 points on a vertical line reduces by a factor mu when you look it from air. Okay, so this is the result that you should remember, and this will be useful in many questions. In fact, that question that we did where they were asked, it was asked like find the height that must be filled so that it appears to be half filled, right? You could have directly done the distance between these 2 points is although actually H dash, right? But when you look at from the top, it will be H dash by mu. So H dash by mu has to be equal to, so if it is appearing to be half filled, then the total height was H. And if it is appearing to be half filled, then this filled and this empty has to be same. So H dash by mu has to be equal to H minus H dash. The same result we got. Okay, so if you remember this result, it will be very, very easy for you. It's a very simple result. What is the result? If the distance between 2 points in a vertical line is H, then when you look from the top, the distance between 2 points on that same vertical line will appear to be H by mu. So this is what was asked in this question. See, distance between these 2 points will appear to be H2 by mu, and distance between these 2 points will appear to be H2 plus H3 by mu. Okay, so this is a very important result that you should remember. Right, now what we will discuss is the application of total internal reflection. We have discussed what is total internal reflection in the last class, and in this class we will be discussing some of its application. Okay, so first application of TIR is a glittering diamond. You know that diamond glitters. Why? Because the material of the diamond has a very small critical angle. So what do you mean by the material of the diamond has very small critical angle? So how does it help in glittering? See, if the critical angle is small, that means what? Whenever light is striking a diamond surface, instead of refracting, it is reflecting. From every point, it is reflecting light. So when from every point it is reflecting light, it seems to sparkle. Okay, and that is why you say that diamond glitters. So the critical angle for the total internal reflection is small when N1 is considerably greater than N2. Okay, that means the denser medium has higher refractive index compared to the rarer medium. For example, the critical angle for a diamond in air is 24 degree. Any ray inside the diamond that approaches the surface at an angle greater than this is completely reflected back into the crystal. This property combined with the proper facing causes diamond to sparkle, because the surface is made in such a way that mostly the light strikes at an angle which is greater than the critical angle. Okay, the angles of the facets are cut so that light is caught inside the crystal through multiple internal reflections. These multiple reflections give the light a long path through the medium and substantial dispersion of colors occurs. By the time the light exists, or as you can say, by the time the light exits to the top surface of the crystal, the rays associated with different colors have been fairly widely separated from one another. What happens here is, you know that for a same medium, the refractive index of different colors is different. So that is why all the colors move at different angles. That is why it seems to sparkle. Okay, we will discuss this in great detail when we study dispersion, right? Okay, then the next thing is optical fiber. You know that in an optical fiber, signals can be transmitted over large distance. Why? Because of the phenomena of total internal reflection. Because if there is a total internal reflection, in that case there is minimal loss of signal, because total means what? All light is getting reflected. So whenever you make an optical fiber, you design it in such a way that whenever light is striking the surface, or any electromagnetic wave is striking the surface, it is striking at an angle which is greater than the critical angle. So when the light is falling at an angle which is greater than the critical angle, in that case what will you say? You will say that the light is getting reflected instead of refracting from the outward surface. Okay? So another interesting application of the total internal reflection is the use of glass or transparent plastic rods to pipe light from one place to another. As indicated in the figure, light is confined to traveling within a rod, okay, even around the curves. As a result of successive total internal reflections, optical fibers are fabricated with high quality composite glass quartz fibers, so that none of the light is getting means out of the interface. Okay, so they want to make the critical angle to be very small. If the critical angle is very small, most of the light will strike the ray, means strike the surface at an angle which is greater than the critical angle. And whenever light strikes at an angle greater than the critical angle, instead of refraction, it follows reflection. Okay, a practical optical fiber consists of a transparent core. This is the transparent core. Sometimes it is also surrounded by a cladding or a covering. Okay, a material that has a lower refractive index than the core. Okay, the combination may be surrounded by a plastic jacket to prevent mechanical damage. That is a different thing. That is not useful for reflection. Okay, now the next important application of this, what you say, total internal reflection is prism. Okay, we will discuss prism in details in the next class. Prisms are transparent objects with triangular cross sections that refract light at each surface. Okay, so there are two surfaces in a prism where refraction takes place. We will discuss prism in great details in the next class. Okay, in typical prism, the refractive index of the material filling the volume of the prism is substantially greater than that of air, and the ray bends towards the base of the triangle. So normally prism is made such that the material filled here means has more volume compared to if there is any air gap. Okay, mostly we will not take any air gap, but if there is, then the volume of the material inside the prism has to be more than the volume of the air gap. Okay, and mostly it is arranged in such a way that the light after refraction is moving towards the base of the prism. Okay, but if you keep it opposite way, if you keep it in the opposite way, it might be possible that light might move away from the base, but we normally put it in such a way that light is traveling towards the base. So however, if inside and outside media are reversed, so if inside and outside media are reversed, that means the refractive index here is more. In that case, light might bend away from the base. We will discuss how light is bent in a prism in details. Next application of TIR is mirage. Now what is mirage? See, it is a phenomena of TIR which is caused by the total internal reflection of light rays at every layers of different densities. Now what does this mean? See, in deserts, mostly you will see mirage in deserts or very hot on a very hot day. See what happens. Due to sun, this sand gets heated. Sand gets heated very quickly. So if sand gets heated very quickly, the air near the sand also gets heated. The air near the sand gets heated, and as we move up, the temperature of air is getting smaller. Okay, so here the temperature is maximum. Here it is a bit less. Here it is a bit somewhat more less. Okay, Now, whenever the temperature is more, the density is less. So here air density is less. If air density is less, its optical density is also less. So that means as we move above, as we move from bottom to top like this, the refractive index, I'll write it, as we move from bottom to top, the refractive index, see, this is less dense, this is more dense. So the refractive index increases, right? So the refractive index increases. Okay, more dense air are here compared to here near the surface. Okay, so what happens due to this? Listen carefully. Suppose you are here sitting here, okay, and you are watching a distant object, suppose a tree. When the light is coming from the tree, see, every time it is moving from a denser to a rarer medium, because above surface is more dense compared to the below surface. So every time it is moving from a denser medium to a rarer medium, so every time it is bending away from the normal, because when light travels from a denser medium to a rarer medium, it always bends away from the normal, right? So that is why the light is continuously bending away from the normal, At one point the bending is close to 90 degree. So after this, so for air, I will tell you, for air the critical angle is 90 degree. For air, critical angle is almost 90 degree. Critical angle is almost 90 degree. Okay, so for air the critical angle is almost 90 degree. That means what? So that means that, see, at when this becomes, means, see, it is always bending away from the normal, At one point what will happen? The ray will be close to 90 degree. In that case, instead of refraction, it will start to show total internal reflection. Okay, so that means that the light after passing through several layers, it starts to show TIR, right? When it starts to show TIR, what happens is light after getting reflected from here is reaching the eyes of the observer. Okay, so when light is reaching the eyes of the observer, it seems to the observer that light is coming from this point, because it is reflected like this. So it appears to the observer that light is coming from this point. So that means it sees the image of this, right? Normally you see the image in water, right? So it seems from the distant point that there is water, means at a far away point, right? In desert, that is how means people get confused, because it seems like there is water ahead but there is no water. This image they see is because of total internal reflection from the air. Okay, so this is mirage. In the same way, there is one more application, and that is looming. Looming is exactly opposite to mirage. It happens in a cold place. This effect occurs when the density of air decreases much more rapidly with increasing height than in normal conditions. See, in this case what happens is, in a very cold climate, the thing is opposite. In a very cold climate, what is happening is, see, so if the climate is very cold, the sand will be very cold. If the sand will be very cold, or the surface will be very cold, the air here will be very cold. If the air here is very cold compared to the above air, in that case this is less dense compared to this. Okay, because this is very cold, right? As the air near the surface has lower temperature, so it is more dense. So when light travels from surface towards upside, then it travels from a denser medium to rarer medium. So when light travels from denser medium to rarer medium, it always bends to away from the normal. At one point it starts to show TIR. Okay, so this happens in cold region. So this process is called looming. See, the situation sometimes happen in cold region, particularly in the vicinity of cold surface of sea or a lake. Light rays starting from an object, say a ship, are curved downwards, and on entering the eye, the ray appears to come from S dash. So that means this gives an impression that the ship is floating in air. The ship, although is in the surface of water, but it seems that from outside, from a faraway point, it seems that the ship is floating in the air, and it seems to your eyes that the rays are coming from the air, right? Although the rays are coming from the ship only, but it is getting totally internally reflected. So this is looming. So with this, we come to the end of today's class. In tomorrow's class, we will again do some more problems related to the applications of total internal reflection. Till then, stay tuned. Bye bye. And if you like my channel, please like, share, and subscribe.